Landon Donovan.
Landon who?
Huh?
I think you
Landon
mean
who?
Terrence Boyd.
Oh, the biggest snub.
The biggest snub.
Terrence Boyd. So,
Terrence
so
Boyd.
welcome to Pick Up Soccer. I'm glad I figured out how to work my computer after a month. It's
We missed you, Hank.
it's been a while, but you guys, I need a little support group action here because I'm feeling the need to like jump out of a window.
I have a support group right here, Hank. His name is Sam.
Thank you. I've got
Hank,
mine.
how many Donovan jerseys do you have? And
How many
of them are
Donovan
burned?
jerseys do I have? See,
Yeah.
this was the thing I had made to myself a little promise that if he played in this World Cup, I would get a Donovan jersey.
Oh.
So it's your fault.
I'm not about to go
It's your
buy a
fault.
Beasley jersey. I don't want a Beasley jersey. I don't have any. Actually, the last shirt that I owned with the actual player's name on it, other than my own, was what's his name? Lee Boyer from Newcastle. And that was a mistake. I bought it on eBay. I didn't know it had a shirt name on the back.
That's a bad job by you, Hank.
I have a rule about shirts. I don't buy shirts
With names on them?
players' names on the back because what if the player turns out to be an axe murderer? Then you're stuck with a guy's shirt.
Then they buy him back. They buy him back. You saw what
Now
happened
they
to
do.
the Patriots.
Now they do. But then you have to buy a new one.
Yeah.
So then the cycle perpetuates. But we're here to talk really not about my shirt collection or the absence thereof. What the hell is Jurgen Klinsmann smoking?
No. All right.
I'm not worried about Landon Donovan.
Yeah. Okay.
Landon-
all right.
No,
good.
it's not just about Landon
Let's just
Donovan.
phrase here. Landon Donovan, his last couple years, we've seen him slowly decline. It's been a while coming. His performance in the MLS this past season has not been spectacular. He has not proven to me that he deserves a spot on this roster. I am not mad about Landon Donovan not making the. I'm a little mad about him not making the 23, to be honest, because I thought he'd be an effective substitute. But I'm not surprised he didn't make the 23.
Yeah, I absolutely, and a lot of people think, it's very true that when Evan and I go on first 11, we just sort of make up arguments a lot of times. I said that Landon Donovan wouldn't make this lineup on the last one, which, believe it or not, it took a week for us to get that one up due to technical difficulties.
Right.
But
I listened today.
I said he wouldn't make the roster, and that was not just me pulling things. I didn't see a place for him on this roster. I kept trying to squeeze him into first 11s off the top of my head. I kept trying to squeeze him into the 18, and I didn't see it happening. I didn't think he was playing well enough. That's not shocking. The thing that is most shocking to me is the fact that Edson Bo has gone to a World Cup. Robbie Finley has gone to a World Cup. Chris Wondolowski is going to a World Cup, and Taylor Twellman never went to one.
That's shocking. But we can't rehash what Bruce Arena did or did not see.
I absolutely can.
You can and will.
There was an article I did today.
And are.
Good article.
But my whole thing about that, I mean, Wando has played well for the United States national team the last few go-rounds, so I'm not surprised that he is making the 23. But do you think he really play? I don't know.
But here's my thing. All right, it's very clear based on this roster that he's making the move for youth in a lot of cases, except with the exclusion. He brought in Yedlin, which was surprising. He brought in Julian Green, which I want to say is surprising, but I don't think anyone's really surprised by.
Yeah,
If you're going to do that, why not bring in Boyd instead of Wando?
Right. So that brings up the point here. So we look at the roster and the 23 that was announced today. No surprises on the goalkeeper squad, but DeAndre Yedlin, shocked that he is on this squad. And when you look at the versatility which you can get from guys like Adu, from Parkhurst, from who's the other?
Maurice Adu made the squad, didn't he?
Maurice Adu did not make the squad.
Oh,
No.
he didn't. Okay, all right.
No,
okay,
I'm
Jesus.
saying, so these are the
Sorry,
guys.
I just almost had a heart
These are
attack.
the guys that got passed over in favor of
Okay.
DeAndre Yedlin.
All right.
Parkhurst, Goodson, Adu,
That-
Evans. the four of those guys alone
Right.
deserve a better shot, deserve a chance more than DeAndre Yedlin. In my opinion.
I'll even throw Timmy Chandler on that list too. When was the last time
Timmy Chandler's off the squad?
I know he is. When was the last time Timmy Chandler played a game for the United States of America?
No,
A year and a half ago?
Yeah. I said. So you're going to put him in the camp that he doesn't deserve to be there?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
that's
not.
good.
No,
I want to hold on to that for later.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Goodson should be going. I think Goodson is having a much better season, and Goodson is going.
He should be.
No,
Oh, I
Goodson
thought you
is
said
not
he is
going.
going. I
He's
got
not
very
going.
confused for a second there.
Let's rephrase.
John Brooks going.
Let's rephrase who the backup three defenders are in the center and right for the United States of America: Timmy Chandler, DeAndre Yedlin, and John Brooks. Let me rephrase that again. Your backups in the center of defense and at right back for a World Cup is John Brooks, Timmy Chandler, and DeAndre Yedlin, who have all of how many games in the last 18 months internationally? 6 between the three of them? Maybe?
You got to look at some of the backroom deals that have gone down here, I think. Jurgen Klinsmann has made a number of promises
into that
to
later.
Players, saying if you sign...
Other point.
So,
Here's what's making me the most upset. After all this talk about the domestic league and MLS and all this stuff, he ends up cutting a lot of players in MLS, and we have more foreign-based players than MLS players. I'm not saying that can happen, certainly, and that's not a bad thing per se, but like when you're giving preference to guys like John Brooks and Timmy Chandler and some of these guys that aren't necessarily on, necessarily the better options, that's basically showing that you believe more in the foreign players than the domestic players.
I
two things going on.
Different.
Go ahead, Abram.
No, go ahead, Hank.
No, I was going to say, I think there's two things going on there, right? So one is Jurgen Klinsmann made some assurances to these guys that said, if you decide to play for the United States over Germany, I will take you to Brazil. He made them a promise. I guarantee that's what happened in the case of Chandler, in the case of Green, in the case of Brooks. Okay, didn't make that in the case of Boyd, obviously. But the other thing here, and I think that this is, you bring in a guy like Yedlin, but then this contrast with other player selections like Davis. I don't know what that's all about, but you look at guys like Yedlin and other guys who say, okay, here we are. We're going into a group of death where the United States probably have a snowball's chance in hell to get out of this group.
We had a snowball's chance of hell before the roster came out.
Before
that
the
snowball's
roster
a lot
came
smaller
out.
now.
Let him finish, Jake.
The snowball is already melted before it even got to hell.
Thanks, Mr. Chamberlain.
So we have a situation now where you're looking at a no-win situation. Is that come into Jurgen Klinsmann's mind in picking up this roster? And that he just wants to get some kids some experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is, and you have made my argument for me, is the idea. This has now officially become preseason for 2018. This is maybe getting Green some time, maybe getting Boyd some reps. Hoping that we don't lose.
Boyd is not going.
Embarrassing. Not Boyd. I'm sorry, Brooks. I apologize. Maybe getting Brooks some reps. I keep thinking Boyd should be there, which is why I think he should be there instead of Wando. Because
that's what's weird to me. I don't.
Yes.
I mean, I guess
it's a lot of mixed messages.
Like you guys made on the first 11, I guess you can make the argument that Wando is the only guy who's scoring for club and country. I mean, I guess you can make that argument, but I don't get why Wando over Boyd. If you're already looking to the future, I think that he is. And maybe also, the idea here, too, is to lower expectations and hope that these young, players are excited and so motivated that they, surprise the world. Because with Landon Donovan, everyone, especially non-soccer fans that are watching this, oh, no Landon Donovan, well, this team's not going to do anything good. And then if they do anything, then all of a sudden the expectations, shift a little bit, and everyone's a little bit happier. So I don't really know. I think it's like you said. I think it's about 2018.
Oh, it's 100. First off, Hank, have you tweeted up a link yet? Because I'm looking for it.
I was just about to.
Okay. Second, it's clearly it's all 20. It's a mixed message. it's completely a mixed message. Because you brought up the other name, which surprised me when I finally realized it was Davis and not.
No.
You're bringing in
Yes.
Brad Davis, but you're not bringing in.
Fucking pissed. Are you on air?
Are you
Yes.
halfway to Brazil right now?
Yeah, I'm driving there.
Are you
Have you
thinking of
sold?
landing?
Have you sold your tickets to scalpers at 50% loss?
Can you show us where Landon is in your car? Are you frozen right now because you are?
He's driving.
Yeah.
Is he driving?
He's driving. It looks like he's got his phone in his cup holder.
I'm not sure that's safe.
Yeah, I think he's frozen now.
I'm okay with it. This is what you've done, Jurgen Klinsmann. You've driven us to podcast in moving vehicles.
All right, Davis is set pieces. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's just set pieces, and I'm thinking that late in the game he whipped something in.
But here's the
yeah.
You can't say you're going for the future and then bring in Chris Wondolowski and Brad Davis and Kyle Becker.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that. But you can't say you're bringing a squad to win, and then Michael Parkhurst, to me, is the best choice for right back, other than Cameron, who I think is the best choice for center back, and Clarence Goodson, who I think is better than Omar Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you trying to win? Are you going for the future? Are you what the hell is this roster all about?
Is there a chance that Donovan was ruining the mojo in the locker room, or is there just a chance that he made Klinsmann so angry from his eat, pray, love excursion in the wilderness? Like,
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's either a feud that he was having with Donovan, or Donovan was ruining the locker room in some way.
Oh, it's personal. It has to be personal. Did you see what his
No.
tweet out?
See what his son wrote? Ha 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 ha! Landon Donovan. Ha ha
Ben
ha.
Donovan didn't make the roster. Then now he's deleted the post. He also deleted his Twitter account.
Who
This
is
is
this?
Klinsmann's kid.
Landon Klinsmann, I think his name is.
Look. There is
Jonathan Klinsmann.
Jonathan Klinsmann.
Yeah, you're
As
close.
far as I'm
Hey,
concerned,
Arena.
the Landon Donovan cut has more to do with his relation with Klinsmann than it would anything solid. If you want to bring in some of these young kids and get them experience, that's what qualifying is for. That's what 3 years of friendlies are for, leading up to the Hex. Getting these 3 kids, Green, Brooks, and Yedlin, experience at a World Cup in the group of death against 2 top 5 teams in the world, the only thing you're going to do is lose, and probably lose very badly, I might add.
Who's going to?
Why are we not talking about the fact that Brad Davis is on that roster instead of Landon Donovan?
But I can live with Brad Davis as
No!
long as he's
No,
not
no,
as long
no.
as he and Julian Green aren't on the same roster. They're going to be playing the same position.
The only way that Brad Davis is justified being on that roster is because they are going to hop on his back and his giant fucking ears are going to fly them all the way down to Brazil.
He is so. I've never seen Matt this angry.
But that's Brad Davis is a
already
role
angry.
player. I'm
This is why
okay
his
with bringing
players
role
don't
players to
perform
the
well.
World Cup. The problem is that now you've got a role player who's playing behind Julian Green. It makes no sense.
No, they play differently though.
They play left wing.
So,
Hey.
Jake, you bring more than one player.
I'm gonna
to
be
play
cynic-
one
I'm gonna be-
position. Otherwise, you just have 11 players to bring down to Brazil.
But who's starting at left wing now? Who? Not Julian Green. Not Brad
Bedoya.
Davis.
Bedoya out of position.
Yeah, Bedoya.
Left
I could
winger.
live with Bedoya. But why are you bringing 2 backup left wingers?
Because they play different styles.
Because Julian Green
Good.
can also play forward.
Good soccer players know how to play in multiple roles on the field.
Are you sure about that, Matt?
Brad
No.
Davis can only play one position. No.
Yeah,
DeAndre
nah,
Yedlin
you
only-
could,
DeAndre Yedlin only plays one position. He plays it badly, I might add.
Well-
He hasn't played 2 positions.
here's the thing about Donovan.
He's right.
Donovan, I mean, I bet there's a lot, and there is a lot about this decision that we don't know about. You know, obviously Klinsmann brought Donovan in. He's been in camp. Maybe he just hasn't looked good. Maybe Klinsmann said, you know what? Based on what I've seen, I mean, like he's been saying in those 30 for 30 things, he could name a 23, 3 weeks from when he had to, but it might not be the same as what he would say in 3 weeks or whatever. So I'm sure there was something in that happened in camp or some trend or something where Klinsmann went, you know what? I'm gonna take a risk. Maybe Donovan's not worth it. Maybe this player has impressed me more. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing is, like I said, we don't know the whole picture. So now, do I agree with him? No.
Are you sure you don't agree with him?
No, I'm not sure at all, actually.
What is it that you don't
I
agree
keep
with
going
him
back
about?
and forth.
What?
Not taking Landon Donovan.
Okay, so I'm not. I don't think Landon Donovan deserves to go, but I think it goes back to that.
Yeah, you said it on first 11.
What is this roster? What is this roster? Or is it for the future? Is it for now? Is it to say, good job, Brad Davis, you're an MLS Hall of Famer, and now you get to go to the World Cup?
It's always right now, because World Cups come every 4 years. You have the next 4 years to build. You can't tell me that necessarily bringing some of these guys, it might help a little bit, but like having these guys run them out and maybe lose is not necessarily the best way of trotting them out there. You have 4 years to get them ready to play in a World Cup. I can see, my thing is, like, I'm okay with Donovan going if there was better options. I'd be okay if Donovan was going and if Donovan was not going and Breck Shea was going, for example. Because I can see
You would be okay with that?
I would be okay with that. I don't see who...
What?
Like, instead of like Brad Davis. I don't get why Brad Davis is on this roster over Landon Donovan. If it was Breck Shea over Landon Donovan, I could see it a little bit more.
No.
Yeah. But
Disagree, sir. Disagree.
Seth, I think that goes back to that same idea. If this was a roster with young guys with potential aiming for 2018, and it was Breck Shea over Brad Davis and Landon Donovan, okay, maybe. But with this mishmash of very young players and players who have never made a World Cup before, again, Kyle Beckerman, and I like Kyle Beckerman, and Brad Davis, there's no solid reason for bringing him. Breck Shea, okay, fine. You bring Breck Shea, then you also bring Luis Gill, then you also bring other young players who I either don't know or don't know enough about. That would be okay with bringing Breck Shea, but with this particular roster, which seems to have no rhyme or reason to it, and I don't, again, hate it. I just don't think. I don't know. Someone said it earlier, and I apologize for whoever said it. It's a lowered expectation roster.
It is not a roster that is built to win the World Cup.
But we're not going to have
do you think it's
I'm going to let you in on a secret, Jake. We're not going to win the World Cup.
Well, but you know what? It'd be nice to actually try.
Do you think
going off the road because of that? Did Matt just cry his hog because he heard that?
It sounded like it.
Do you think it's the roster decision of a guy who is comfortable in his position because he has a contract till 2018?
Oh, I think, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He better be.
It's a guy who's comfortable with his position till 2018 who can build the roster, and that's why I go back to that same thing, which is then bring Breck Shea, bring Luis Gill, bring
Sasha.
Ben fucking Liederman.
Joe Corona.
Bring Joe Corona. It's whatever.
It's bad news.
Diego Fagundes. Just bring Diego Fagundes and get disqualified.
Bring him now.
Yeah, but just get disqualified.
Darlington Nagbe. Darlington Nagbe.
Yeah. Bring that goal. What is it? Bring Cody Cropper.
Yeah,
bring,
why Nick Romano?
Why Nick Romano? Why not bring, if you're going to bring young guys, why not bring a Sean Johnson or a Bill Hamid?
No. They suck.
Cody Cropper.
Bring in Zach.
Zach McGrath.
Bring in Zach McGrath. He's awesome.
If you want to bring in a guy who can stop a PK,
Ryan Muir.
Bring Romano.
Bring in Ryan Muir now, captain.
Bring in Mike McGee. Mike McGee is third goalkeeper.
There you go, Mike McGee.
Can we all be honest at this point that Nick Romano might be there to be the right back?
Dude, he's legit foot skills. Legit foot skills.
He can play center back easy, or a holding midfielder.
He's super tall.
No, he's not.
He's really good in the air.
Yes, so
he's
like a 200-pound Dax McCarty.
With less ginger.
Mexican-American Dax McCarty.
I'm going into this World Cup at this point with a I don't care attitude. Yeah. I haven't had an I don't care attitude about a World Cup since '94. It's just whatever happens,
That's
happens. I
un-American.
don't care. It's all about 2018.
He's totally un-American.
I want to
He's
see.
Cape Verde anyway. Cape Verde isn't in the World Cup, so.
So who's the if Donovan gone? Even if he wasn't starting, he was clearly the face of the team. Who's the face of the team now? Is it Dempsey or Michael
Probably
Bradley?
Dempsey or Bradley.
Tim Howard.
Bradley, Deuce Face.
Tim Howard.
Oh, it's Dempsey first. Dempsey's marketable.
It's
No one knows.
Julian.
No one knows Michael Bradley's good at soccer.
True. Bradley likes to frown and make you scared of
Yeah.
him.
It's Iceman.
RoboCop.
It's Coach Sweatpants Jr.
There you
It's Iceman. It's Aaron Johansson from the All-American city of Mobile, Alabama.
Oh yeah, he does look a lot like what's Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just like him. Yep.
Hopefully they
I
can
don't
kick
know,
out
I
the
think-
World Cup for dancing.
You look at that.
I don't think that's a
Here's-
problem in Brazil.
Here's another. Obviously, you got one guy we really haven't talked about who's going to Brazil, and I kind
Wait,
of
there's
find
people going?
his recent run of form.
Whoa.
Look at Josie Altidore, right?
I feel like that's all that's been
Josie
talked about.
Altidore playing better than Terrence Boyd right now?
He must be lighting it up in training camp.
No, man, I was gonna say DeAndre Yedlin must get You know how I like those sexual favors, guys.
I was gonna say he's putting his mouth or his money where his mouth is, or whatever that is. Yeah.
That's right. I'm thinking DeAndre Yedlin has some other skills, shall we say.
They don't involve playing right back. We all know he can't do that.
Go!
Oh,
Go! You're an idiot. Oh my god.
he's
I'm
getting
sorry.
out of the
I'm
drive.
sorry. Did I just
That
watch
is,
his whole team give up
That's
5
a
goals?
it's a green light. Go.
Matt's drunk driving, yelling into his phone.
No,
I can't
no,
tell
I
if
haven't
you're
had
yelling
anything
at
yet.
Jake, or
It's-
if you're yelling at the guy in front of you.
It's like a 35 mile per hour speed limit, and the guy slowed down to 20 and tried to merge in front of me, and I'm like, you're okay, whatever.
He's as good as driving as DeAndre Yedlin is playing
Just
right
watch
back.
the road. Watch
We're good,
the
guys.
Yes, just watch the road at least.
That's
I'm at a signal.
I can tell. All right, good.
Man, I don't know.
It's bad news when that we have to go down this road. But a guy on Twitter that bugs me a lot. A guy I used to play soccer with. He said basically this is a 3-and-out scenario for the United States national team. So, it begs the question. Why is he bringing the team that he's bringing? And go back to this point again. You've got young guys that maybe need some experience. You've got old guys like Brad Davis who have really no reason to be there. And then you got guys being left off the roster who have been playing well in Europe, guys like Terrence Boyd, who reportedly has been playing well in Europe. I can't tell you how many games he's won for Rapid Vienna or if he's still playing.
He had a really good couple of months at the end of the year. I don't know how many goals he scored, but I'd probably say at least 6.
Yeah, he had a good
It was
run.
definitely
there.
more than 6, wasn't it?
Well,
He had a good run.
I was just going the last couple of months. I mean, Terrence
Oh,
Boyd
okay.
was in form, but the problem. I said the same thing. I said I love the fact Terrence Boyd, got the opportunity, and he'll have another one. But when his few chances he's had to not have a cameo situation with the USA, he hasn't done very well. Wondolowski has gotten more minutes, and he's scored goals at the international level. I'm okay with Wondolowski on the roster.
Over Lance Donovan?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the problem I went by position. I filled out the depth chart in the 14.
He's listed as a forward.
Yeah, he's a
And-
forward.
I got Josie behind Wanda. Dempsey and Iceman playing attacking mid.
Awkward.
I don't know. Is Wando able to go up against, score against Ghana? Who's the last American to score against Ghana?
Dempsey?
Dempsey scored in 2020.
Neat.
No, shit, who scored in 2010?
Wasn't it? A dude scored.
Donovan had a penalty kick, right?
Okay.
Wasn't that
Go
also
on.
the game that a dude scored, but it was called offsides?
That was
Here's a
Slovenia.
great tweet.
And it wasn't offside, it was like for a phantom foul.
It was
No,
for
it
a
was Donovan
foul.
on a penalty kick.
There's some really great tweets coming through right now. It's like Landon Donovan omitted from USA World Cup squad by Klinsmann, but Sunderland flop Josie Altidore is included. That's from the
It's
Daily
different
Mail.
positions, guys. We don't compare.
I know it is.
Josie, no, I know that. I'm telling whoever's online. You have to go by position. What midfielder doesn't deserve to make the roster over Landon Donovan, or vice versa?
He's listed as a forward.
He's listed as a forward, and Klinsman said he thinks of him as a forward, and he was going to play forward. So let's not pretend he was going to play midfield, because he would not have played midfield at this point in his career.
He would have played pocket forward, because he's huge and imposing.
No, that was just.
Yeah, he'd be running the channels.
That was Clinton's way of cutting you.
Fast break, counterattack.
You can list Landon Donovan wherever you want. He can play. He's gonna play midfield.
Right back.
Or as a second.
Right back would be better.
He might be a good right back. You never know.
Be an amazing right back.
He might as well.
Compared to the ones we brought.
Okay, left back.
And we left back. Donovan.
No, he
Donovan
is left back.
Bucket center back.
Guys, appreciate Hank's pun. No one?
Hank made a bad pun. Boo, Hank.
Dude, there's so much noise. Sorry.
That's the way it is. Oh, man. So there's a mock starting 11 up against Ghana out on MLSsoccer.com. It's taking forever to render on my computer, but it's probably because it has like a month's worth of updates too.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's think about it. Let's think about it honestly and realistically, and let's forget about Landon Donovan for a second.
Right.
Who are you?
We cannot change what is done. We still must root for this team.
And I understand that.
Someone could get injured.
Yeah, but still, he wouldn't be the first one in.
Donovan.
I understand that this is a 3 and out. I understand this is, more likely than not. But let's pretend for a second that we get a couple points out of this. This is clearly not brought this up. I don't even know how long ago that. This is a roster made by a guy who's already there through 2018. So let's pretend. Let's pretend we're 3 and out. We're done. But we looked good. We weren't, crushed 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 in each of the 3 games. We kept it close. Maybe we lost to Germany 3-0. We lose to Portugal 2-0, and we lose to Ghana 1-0, and it's a close game. Of course, I could just 0 goals. If that bleeds the roster for 2018, is that worth it?
No. The World Cup only comes every 4 years, and there's no guarantee that the next time around that these guys are healthy, these guys are in form. There's no guarantee at all.
We qualified.
Hey, I'm from America. I want my satisfaction now. I want it now.
This is not.
But more than that, like
I do too.
You can't guarantee. Like if you get to a cup championship or you get to a finals or something, you don't throw out just like the guys that are going to be there for next year because you don't know what's going to happen. Guys get injured. Guys go out of form. Like that every 4 years it should be built to try to win that tournament. I don't think the U.S. will ever win the tournament in the near future, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to win that tournament.
This is not a roster. I know Abram can say all the time, I understand we're probably not going to win the World Cup. You still need to try to win the World Cup. This roster does not scream the United States men's national team is trying to win the World Cup. It screams we're trying to build for 2018. You have 4 years and an entire World Cup cycle to do that. You just left off 7 guys that you cut that have more international than half of the guys who you have now backing up your presumed first 11, which, as of right now, is Josie, Bedoya, Dempsey, Zuzi, Beckerman, and/or Jones, Bradley, Fabian Johnson, Gonzalez, Beasler, Cameron.
Chandler.
That first 11 is not terrible. I don't have a problem with the first 11. I have a problem with the second 11. I don't know who's coming off the bench.
What about the last one?
What about last one?
You said first 11, second 11, and then there's Nick Raimondo.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's got to get the water.
The best goalkeeper in the world. It's a shame that
23 guys.
It's a shame Ramondo's behind Tim Howard and Brown because he's actually good at soccer.
Unless you chip the ball.
Nah. Jones gets injured, you put in Nick Raimondo as your holding midfielder.
Is that allowed? I know you can't put in a field, or you can't well, shit. I wonder what's allowed because I know you can't roster a guy. Remember there was some precedent set where North Korea tried to send over a forward as a goalkeeper.
A guy as goalkeeper, and then he wasn't allowed.
It was women's, wasn't it? It was women's.
Man, I thought it was.
No, it wasn't.
It happened in 2010.
No, it was in the Olympics or something then.
Whatever.
It might, oh, you know what? You might be right.
2012.
I know what you're talking about, though.
So
Good. That's good. That's good. That's a start.
The starting 11 that MLS Soccer is listing. I'm not who's sure. Andrew Weeby put this out. Altidore, Zuzi, Dempsey, Bedoya, Bradley and Jones, Johnson, Beasler, Gonzalez, Chandler, and then Howard, obviously.
Sorry, repeat the midfield again for me.
Zuzi, Dempsey, Bedoya, and Bradley and Jones.
Same midfield.
What about?
I like Beckerman better, but I know Jones is starting, so.
What about?
Depends on the opponent too, I think.
What about Cameron instead of Gonzalez?
I would put Cameron over Gonzalez.
That's the other thing.
Cameron's starting.
Gonzalez.
He's starting. It's just a matter of where.
He's better.
I don't trust him right now.
I don't trust him at all. I think if you're going to take one of the two Galaxy players you brought to camp, we bring that other guy who we're not talking about.
Robbie Keane.
But yeah, that's one. But Gonzalez is not good enough. He's injured, and Clarence Goodson, who's not going, is better than him.
Clarence Goodson's better than Anthony Brooks, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, gosh, Anthony Brooks. That guy, no.
Doesn't exist.
I mean, granted, he had one game, like one shitty game, so maybe he's better now. I don't know.
Yeah, but with Gooch not a part of the team, who's he gonna blame when he does badly?
Right.
He's going to blame the omission of the most important player, Michael Parkhurst.
So here's the next question, guys. So if this does explode in Jurgen Klinsmann's face, do you think Sino Galati has the balls to? Well, we all know the answer to this question.
Nope.
I'm not gonna
He's
get it.
there.
He's got short man syndrome.
I think
He'll do anything.
I think Galati is a part of this because otherwise, why does he say, "Okay, I'm going to sign a contract and give you all"? He gave away all his power basically by signing and allowing that new contract.
I think they're in it together. They were both stroking Julian Green a little bit, like, "Hey, you're definitely going to make this World Cup squad."
If Abrams' scenario comes true and this team loses all 3 games by a combined 6-0, they're both fired.
No, they're not.
By
No,
who?
no.
They should be.
By who? President Obama?
I don't care who does it. National
President Obama can't do that.
No, you're right. Obama can't do it because then
It's Obamacare.
They're gonna send Joe Biden to do the dirty work.
Joe Biden.
U.S. Soccer Federation's been suspended because President Obama fired Sunil Gulati.
I think Joe Biden's going to be
Shit,
there.
they're gonna bring in Henry Kissinger.
That guy loves soccer.
He's still alive. I have no idea.
He played right back.
Yeah, Henry Kissinger right back.
In the 1904 Olympics. For Poland, or wherever the hell he's from. Germany? Germany, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look it
I
up.
don't know. I'm still kind of shy. I think we just need to drink more, guys, and just.
I want to read this tweet, which was sent in by a buddy of mine, Ant. He's at Anthony, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Aukamp, Aukamp on Twitter. Mostly I'm mentioning it because it's trolling Jake. And it says, yes, I'm just a Yedlin fan. Like that he's raw and watching both play this season, I take Yedlin. Parkhurst didn't sell me.
Wow. So you'd rather watch a raw player totally like? Remember when Kevin Olsen made the All-Star team for MLS?
Tierney.
Do you remember when Kevin Olsen made the MLS All-Star team?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at here, guys.
He got called up. But it's the same.
That's what we're
Was
looking
that
at
before?
here.
Was that before or after he gave up 2 shitty balls against Manchester United
Yeah,
in the All-Star game?
Bad ball, right?
Wasn't it 2? Like 2, he made 2 terrible
The bad
mistakes.
balls were against. The bad balls were actually the Revs against Manchester United.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that makes. I remember watching the game.
Hank, your comparison is perfect though because Alston, and I like Alston a lot, but he relies just basically on his speed. He can be really clunky as a defender, kind of like Yedlin too. He kind of shows up late, and he can like do some good defensive plays and stuff. But like their MO as outside backs is just to kind of get forward and see what happens.
Yep, that's their modus operandi, and I'm not sure it's going to be very effective against the likes of Germany.
Portugal.
They got a blitzkrieg, Germany.
Yep.
Well,
They're gonna play
all we have to
Jacob's
worry-
high pressure. JD
Yep.
should be the coach.
Totally should be the coach.
I'm going home with that.
Ben Olsen.
Oh man, I want to go drink more. That's what I want
Jesse
to do.
Marsh.
Need more beer.
Sit and cry.
There's
Yeah.
not enough,
Hey,
there's not enough beer here, Hank. There's not enough beer.
I'm just gonna be sober because I don't care. I
you know
don't
what?
care.
All
right, guys.
I'm a U.S. men's national team fan, but I do not care. That's what this
So you're
roster.
not gonna watch?
This roster. No, I'll watch it. But this
Oh,
roster
yeah,
is made.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna yell at the
completely-
TV. I'm gonna scream.
He's gonna watch in 2018.
But I think that's the thing.
You
is I
can
don't,
drive to the-
my expectations are so low right now. So low. I mean, they were pretty low before, but in my head I was going, oh, we might be able to sneak out of the group. We might be able to do this or that. And I don't think that this roster feels that much, but it confuses me. And I it's easy to get on here and be ultra negative, but at the end of the day, I guess
Super
I'm really
easy.
not. I guess I'm not. I guess I don't care that Landon Donovan don't make it. My biggest complaint is that Omar Gonzalez made it. I don't think he should be there. But I guess I don't have any lower expectations than I had before. Maybe we sneak a point from Ghana. Maybe we sneak a point from Portugal. Is that any different than how I felt before he made these cuts? Not really. And it gives these guys 3 games to play together with the 23 instead of with the 30 and a couple guys fighting for their life. I think we're just so used to Landon Donovan being there, and we're so used to, a bigger roster for the first 2 of these 3-game send-off series that we expected him to do that, and he's doing something different. And after bitching with you guys for a little bit, I kind of commend him on bringing a young roster. I just go back to that same thing: is if you're going to do this, go all in. Bring a Luis Gill, waive Wando, bring Boyd.
bringing Luis Gill.
Yeah.
He just
You know,
made
That's what
the,
I'm saying.
that's
And
his
I'm
point.
saying-
Is
That's his
you
point.
invite. Yeah, I'm saying you might as well have brought in someone bring Corona. Fine, I know Luis Gill wasn't on the 30.
Well,
But bring
no,
Joe, bring Joe
no, I know what you
Corona
mean,
instead of Brad Davis.
Bring Juan Agadello.
Bring Juan Agadello instead of
Well,
someone
and
else.
you know what, Abram, I'm with you. You
Clint
can
Dempsey.
you can say Landon Donovan does not fit this team or does not have a position in the 4-2-3-1, which I will not disagree with. I still think he's valuable off the bench because you can't always play a 4-2-3-1 late in the game. Separate issue. Go all
I
the way.
disagree.
If you're gonna bring a young untested roster, bring a young untested roster. This is a 50-50 of you
It's a
Clinton
30-30.
is drunk and doesn't know what he's doing.
Hey, Jake.
That's insane.
Jake.
He knows what he's doing. We just don't because we're all stupid.
Yeah. Very
Clint's
true.
been
We are.
That
God
still
bless
doesn't prove the
Clinton.
fact that I think when he announced this roster, he was drunk. That's my personal opinion. I don't like the roster. I don't think this roster can win the World Cup. This upsets me. I don't like using the World Cup. But you have to try.
Yeah, we
Abram.
would have
You
if
to
Landon
try.
Donovan was on the
You can't
roster.
show
Duh.
up and half-ass the World Cup. This is America.
But we're
need
not
this.
half-assing the World Cup. I'm not sure Landon Donovan would have played in this World Cup other than a few,
But
minutes
that's
at the
fine.
end of
He
the
should
game.
be on the roster.
He would have
Why?
played.
For
He would
what?
have played.
For-
All he had to do was recreate Algeria without playing the full 90.
For
Three
what-
times.
What has Landon Donovan
7
done
times, actually.
to
Sorry, 7 times.
deserve a spot on this roster? Nothing. We want him there because he's the face of American soccer. He's
Right.
not playing well in MLS. He played well in the Gold Cup against third-tier competition. Why are we bringing him? What is the purpose? Why not bring a Julian Green? Why not
Because
bring a Terrence
All right, guys.
Boyd?
Love you. Bye. See you guys
Bye,
later.
Maddie.
Bye. Bye.
If Landon Donovan hasn't earned enough to be on this roster, then why is
For what? For the sake of being Landon Donovan?
All right, but if you say Landon Donovan hasn't done enough to earn it, what has made Julian Green, Brad Davis, Brooks, Yedlin, and Chandler done to do it? If Landon Donovan hasn't earned it, what is those 5 guys done to be on the roster?
With the exception of Brad Davis, who I also don't think belongs on this roster, they're all young and are for the future. That's what
great.
they've
That's
done.
what the next qualifying cycle's for. This is the World Cup. You don't try stuff during the World Cup. You bring your best 23 guys.
I get that Germany is a much, 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 much better team than us, but that's exactly what they did in 2010. Is they brought young guys and everyone freaked out at Lowe and said, why are you bringing all these young guys? If you look at England right now, England is bringing a bunch of young guys. So
Because
a
England
lot
doesn't
of
have
these
anyone
teams,
else.
a lot of these teams who are not going to win the World Cup are bringing younger guys to bleed them for 2018. That is what Jurgen Klinsmann is doing, with the exception of Brad Davis, which is a call-up that makes no sense. That is the one thing, other than Omar Gonzalez, who I don't think is very good, that makes no sense.
Right, because if you're going to bring in a guy who can take free kicks, just for the guy that can take free kicks, you could do that with Landon Donovan.
Yeah.
Landon Donovan could take those free kicks for you and add
Landon
more versatile
Donovan's more
options.
versatile than Brad Davis only plays one position.
Exactly.
Julian Green plays, mostly that same position. I have Julian Green right now as the backup right winger, even though I know he's going to feature more on the left. And that's not even to say, I think Johnson is now the starting left winger. Which means I don't have a backup left back if I change my depth chart over here in pencil.
Timmy Chandler can play both.
DeMarcus Beasley.
Yeah,
So can Michael Parker.
Your starter.
DeMarcus Beasley.
Michael Parker.
I'd be less you know what I'm really upset about? I'd be less upset if DeAndre Edlin was home and Michael Parkhurst was on the roster.
I think Michael Parker's and like Brad Evans too. They're too one-dimensional. I think for Klinsmann, they're too safe.
Yep.
Klinsmann likes.
I can buy that. That's why I think it's not all this is just about. I know it's someone mentioned Klinsmann isn't bringing the best 23. He's bringing the 23 that he likes, and part of that bothers me.
As more than friends.
Well, that's a separate issue. But I don't like and I can't disagree when Hank says, I forget who I was tweeting, I think it was Jeff Krause from Chicago. I responded on the Fire Confidential. He tweeted out the retweet of the Jonathan Klinsmann tweet about Landon Donovan, which was terrible. And I said, that's why I think there's more than just soccer decisions going on with this roster. And that part pisses me off probably the most. Not so much Yedlin. Yedlin's a personal thing. I don't like it.
I can't wait for the Landon Donovan book. It's gonna be good.
Oh my
Or
God.
the 30 for 30, Abram.
That's not going to be a 30 for 30 on this, because Landon Donovan shouldn't have been on this roster. There's no controversy.
There's controversy.
There's always a controversy.
There's controversy because
Abram,
people want to make controversy.
I totally
Arguably the
don't. I
greatest
don't believe
player
what
in
you're
this
saying,
team
Abram.
history.
I don't believe what you're saying. I believe.
Well, this
I
isn't
agree
first 11. I'm not making it up as I go.
Yeah, well, I do agree with you that like the idea that you're bleeding some people and good and stuff like that, but I don't believe that you don't think that Landon Donovan doesn't belong.
I don't
think
he belongs on this roster.
Over.
No, he doesn't belong on that roster of yours trying to go for 2018. That I agree with. This is not one of those rosters. This is one of those half-assed rosters for 2018.
If I'm taking off Brad Davis, I'm putting Joe Corona on.
I'm fine with that.
Where else?
Really?
Who else are you taking out? If I take off DeAndre Yedlin, I'm putting Michael Parkhurst on. But if I'm going for 2018, I'm keeping DeAndre Yedlin on. Landon Donovan does not fit on this roster.
Why not bring Junior Flores?
Bring Junior Flores. Bring Ben Liederman. Bring Marco Pelosi. I don't care. Well, I do care, but you get the point.
I think there would be less of a controversy if Abram's right. You either pick a roster that you want to win in 2018 or do better in 2018, or you pick a roster to win the 2014 World Cup, at which point you've done neither. And leaving off Donovan does not accomplish either goal, except get, I'm assuming, Brad Davis an appearance in the World or a trip to Brazil.
Abram mostly doesn't care because there's going to be more than 200 fans in the stadium, and he'd rather watch an NPSL game.
You're damn right I would.
That's right.
I like my NPSL games small and
All
intimate.
right, guys. I have a feeling like we've gotten to the point now where we're beating the same horse over and
Yeah.
over.
Good talk.
But
It's definitely good to let it all out there and rant, and good to see you guys' faces, so to speak.
I feel that was therapeutic. I appreciate that.
Very
guys.
therapeutic.
I need that.
It needed to happen.
Another
It needed to happen.
Finish my last beer now, too.
Yes,
Yeah,
still
Hank,
alive. It still works. I got my shout out to Mark Willis on my USA shirt for.
It's got a sash on it. Gotta love it.
Yeah. This is also a Mark Willis design that I'm wearing tonight too.
Is it?
Nice.
Nice.
Yes, it is.
Very
I was
nice.
concerned, Hank. I listened to the Midnight Ride today, but I wasn't sure if it was just several past episodes chopped up. So I'm glad that I know that you're officially alive.
Yeah, it was actually me. I actually recorded
Right.
it. It was ridiculous, actually, because we hadn't recorded since April or May or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Hank, we missed you, Hank.
I know.
New England missed you too, because I saw way too many tweets of you or the Midnight Ride our team. Oh look, Hank and Maddie are back. This is great. My day's awesome.
Yes, I love that.
But no,
Well, it was fun, and we had a little bit of something we had to take care of up here in sunny Boston, but we've gotten through that, and now I'll be back on more often. Probably not as often as I was in the past, but more often.
That's good. And yeah, before we leave, I just want to say this does not change the fact we are still going to root just as hard for these 23 guys. This doesn't change the fact that we want to see them succeed and do well.
Go fuck yourself. I'm going over to the Nike outlet to buy, or the Adidas outlet to buy a Germany kit.
Nice.
But that doesn't change the fact that
Yeah. No, I mean, if you look at the reaction from the players that were left off or sent home, it's all good, and they're all praising the team and everything right now. So I applaud them and the class that they're showing. The rest of Jurgen Klinsmann, dude, put down the crack pipe, back away slowly.
Nice job, Jurgen.
There you go, pal.
All right, you're drunk.
You are drunk. Anybody else got any final words? 3, 2, 1, say them now. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.